that I really divorced his attorney in the end. I remember at one point being in a room with my attorney, his attorney, and him. He went out she asked him to go get us all water. And we were talking, the three of us, and I said, shouldn't we wait for Paul? And she said, well, why bother?
What did that mean?
Because I think she would have done, I think she kind of ran the show.
Okay. All right. That makes sense that you divorced his.
And I really do think that there are a lot of attorneys who run the show. I think there are a lot of attorneys who have their own agenda. Not all attorneys, so I don't want people to say there's, all attorneys are horrible. But I think that's why I'm very pro telling people your attorney works for you. It is you hired them to represent your interest. But I think once you give a deposit to an attorney, a lot of time, then you think you have to do whatever they tell you. That's not, I think it's back-ass words. But you're at a very vulnerable moment in your life and you can't even think.
What I say is not all attorneys are created equal. And in family law, it is the cesspool that will attract attorneys that are in it for the money, that don't really think about how they're hurting people's private lives. If they move into, skirting some ethics, attorneys have to live by these code of ethics that are provided by each state bar. And it's easy for family law attorneys to run roughshod over their clients because, as you said, A, the clients are vulnerable, and B, they don't know anything about the system. You don't know when your attorney is doing something that's kind of unnecessary, charging you money for something you don't really need. You don't know that. It's a different language. It's a whole different system you're living in. And you kind of want somebody to lead you. But to your point, you have to maintain your position of being in charge. It is your money. It is your life. And if you don't understand what the attorney's doing, you have to ask what the point is. And if you don't feel it's right, you've got to stop it. Yes?
Yes, absolutely. And I also think, I always heard, women, and especially after I was divorced, women make out better in court than men. And I'm like, no, that's not really the case. I would come out of court, and I think I shared with you, my car would be towed. My attorney's car would be towed.
Please say that. Please share that. That's what I couldn't remember that I wanted you to say.
Yeah, I mean, my attorney and I would be looking for our cars, and they're gone. To go get them, we'd share a taxi, a ride to go get our cars they were towed. And there is something to be said for divorcing people who work in the legal profession. I can't prove anything. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I'm not saying my ex did anything, but it certainly is awful, coincidental that my car was towed, my attorney's car was towed. I had rental cars towed because sometimes I had moved back out of state to where I grew up to be closer to family to help me. And, when I'd go back